we are live. And you see here, if you were there yesterday during the live, I started to do this OSL, so this whole underneath green glow that you can see all around the model. So this guy has OSL. Let me zoom in slightly. Yeah, like this. Something like this. Cool. And so you can see that he has OSL from glowing stuff on him, but also OSL from the glowing ground. That's what we have on the tail here. Here it's a mix. There is some because of the pipes. Yeah, so we have this little pipe here I've done, and especially from the front, I think it's pretty striking to have this reflection here, all under the arm here, torso, and especially the face. I think it comes together pretty fine. And so I'm going to replicate that on other parts. This one is more or less finished, minus maybe some refinement here and there. But overall, yes, let me check. Okay. I'll do a bit of refinement on this guy, and then I will start on another model. So refinement, what is refinement? I take my dark green, like this, yeah, pretty good. And then I feather the edges. A bit less water, something like this. Oops, less again. Kind of going on the edges of the green, of the lighter green. Oopla, sorry, you cannot see, like this. Yeah, something like this. And giving smoother gradient. Leaving the medium green in the center. And so I have a smoother gradient back to black, because this is for the green OSL. Like this, you see here. And so I have a very, this is a glaze, very transparent consistency, and I do many passes. And the time I'm here, this is about dry because I drop very, very little paint. And that's what I call refinement, because one pass after the other, the gradient becomes very smooth. Like this. Yes, I'm in the frame, that's cool. Welcome everybody. Painting some glowing effects and OSL. So you see this guy here, he has this whole ambient light from below, so it's very dramatic. I think this guy is pretty much done. Let me check. Pretty good here. You see under the weapons, in the belly here, there is this area that is problematic because there is a vein here, and so you should catch some light from below, but we don't. I should also highlight from above with this lighter gray to mark the vein, otherwise it's hard to understand what is happening here. Although it's theoretically correct, this has yet to be refined. But for now, just about to do this kind of green glow from below on another miniature just about to start soon. So yes, you see there is a lot of green from below. You don't really see everything when you take the miniature from the front, but that's just enough. And so my second guy, yeah, this is really pretty much it for this guy. Maybe, yes, a little bit here. So that's my medium green. You see it's very much thinned down. And so here I see there is something like the pipe that should light this section. So here we go, just like this. Very straightforward. And I found that a wider brush produces a better result. I think it kind of, you know, each of the brushes, the hair, I mean, each of the hair kind of goes on its own, and it creates a smooth gradient from the brush stroke. So it's pretty counterintuitive here. We would think that the best is thinner brush, but that's not what I've experienced here. Okay, so now this is dry, and I have a second pass. Kind of a dot. You see, it doesn't have to be precise. The brush does kind of a random work that works wonders. And so everywhere I want to have more of this green, I just go like this. And if I have a bit of texture, perfect. Like this. This is not something that people will really look. They will more likely overlook this part. So, oh, just like this, you see? I've forgotten, so I have something very quick. Like this. Just in case, you know, somebody happens to look here and it's like, oh, there is nothing. Well, even if it's subtle, have a little something, and then that solves the problem. Yeah, something like this. And here as well. Yeah. And so it looks like everything has been done, although you see this has been just super quick. Because I have 6 of them, you see them in the background. This is not like all the eggs in the same basket in terms of miniature, so I'm spreading the work. If I can cut corners somewhere, then I do, and then of course it gives me more time. So if I find, so for instance here it could be enhanced, you see I kind of stipple with this brush and just blends the whole thing naturally, which is faster. Wow, blown away by the beautiful music in the background. Cello. Hope you guys are doing great, and I'll be honest with you guys. Oh my god. Ooh. I'll be honest with you guys, I almost dropped it. Let me just adjust the camera slightly more up like this. Yes, okay. Because I tend to, let me see. Yeah, that's a bit better. Okay. Okay, so here you see there is not much of the, how to say, like the OSL. In fact, there is, but it's hard to see because it's dark green that serves as a basis for. Oh, well, okay, so I will start with this, which is very, very annoying. I forgot this pipe, you see, at the back, and that's horrendous. Horrendous because I thought I had finished these steps. And so, ooh, that was a hit to realize that, oh no, it hasn't finished. It's not done. It's in fact just the beginning again. And so I try to be fast but do a clean job. So you see I push my drop of paint the further I can under the pipe. Yes, you see that. And it looks a bit drastic when it's wet, but when it will dry, it will be barely noticeable. And that's how I will build the, how do you say, like the glow from the black you can see is here to the green that will be here. And because it is very, very thin, don't really need don't really need to be super careful. I'm just getting rid of a bit of water. And again here at the top. And it looks bad because that's the first step. So if you join the live like, ooh, what is he doing? Step by step. But also I don't want to take ages to build up to this green light. And that's why here the approach is a bit more drastic than what I've done yesterday. So yeah, you know what? I finished this annoying pipe there. And then you see I can start already to build on the pipe directly. This is very tiny. People won't really see much. Oh, I also have the OSL on the rat itself, on the brain, because the pipe will emit light on his little brain here, the very center. So it's still something interesting to paint, because it will add something very interesting to the model. Okay, something like this. And if you're worried about the harshness of the transitions, I will come back with dark green and glaze it down too. It's easier to glaze, let's say, glaze down to a darker color than it is to glaze up. Glazing up will leave marks. And so if there is to be marks anyway, then I just do it fast. And glazing down will solve that, so no problem. But yet, you see, there is still some sort of gradient. If you're very, very much in a hurry, like, oh, I have no time, then you can do that. I will do, oh wow, everything on the rat also, okay. So everywhere where I see a source of light, I can stipple, and you see, then we start to build up the light everywhere I need. Here I considered using airbrush or sponge or what, because confronted to the amount of work, because I have 6 of them, I lost it. I lost the drive, the motivation, the courage. Yesterday especially, just got overwhelmed by that. But then, you know, came back and like, new method, bigger brush, and we'll do it. Doesn't have to be that precise, because that will be reworked and smoothed. But this is, I believe it's pretty important to keep the rhythm, and so not go too slow, if possible. Otherwise, that's very, very long work. And you see, I'm kind of dry brushing almost. Oh wow! So here he has a pipe, so he'll have a lot of light coming there. Kind of stippling, you see, and dry brushing with my big brush, and it works very well. And so what could be like precision work ends up being just putting the brush in the model, really. But just need the good brush, the one that will naturally do the best. And so because of its characteristics, so here it's kind of, you see the tip is dreadful, the tip of the brush, but it's perfect for what I'm doing here. So you see here kind of, wow, it's very hard to access this area there. But I'm kind of dry brushing quickly, and then I will refine. I think something like this. Same here. Okay. I'm getting good results, like for the speed. Okay, give me 5 seconds. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Let's go on. And layer by layer, I'm getting to green that has a good coverage and a good vibrancy. Okay, yeah, and I said, well, this guy, he will have a lot of light coming from everywhere, whether it's this glow in the pipe or this one or the pipe behind his head. So here I'm adding a bit of water because I don't have room to brush behind here. So I rather leave a big drop of paint. I don't know if you can see. Yeah, something like this here. And then I will feather the edges. I focus on getting a good opacity in the center and then feathering the edges because this is very hard to get to. So let's check the other side. And you see I'm pushing the last drop of paint in the center, but basically that's the OSL. And then feathering. Oh yeah, this is very hard to, oh my god, should I do it? Poof. Yeah, okay, so of course. Okay, now you see I'm getting good opacity. And you'll see just the magic of glazing back to a darker color. But you see from afar, if I move the model like this, and you don't really have time to, you see, there is already a gradient here. But to be fair, it was very easy, so that's why I'm doing that. Easy and pretty quick, fairly quick. I love this green from Vallejo. It's doing great. Sick green it is. Oh, here as well. So the first steps, you have to be brave because it took me ages, to paint up to this. And now I'm kind of messing up on the miniature. But in fact, it will come together. And it's all about trusting the process here. It is way too small for the airbrush. And so Don't have choice. Has to be slow build up with the brush. But the result looks cool, so for real, it's alright. See here, I'm just dry brushing, to be honest. But it works. Especially here in the center. And then I will refine to whether dark green or a black. Okay. It's about trusting the process here. Of course, the cleaner of a job I do from the start, the less I will have to do. It's just a balance between speed and cleanliness, let's say. And also, one thing that is very important to be quick is to keep with one color. So I'll do this medium green on all the parts that need it, and then I will do the dark green to feather. And like this, here as well. Here I kind of messed up on the hand, so let me clean that. Yeah. Here I will do everything like inside, because there is a lot here. Like this. Yes, there is this one, and this here is putting some light on this can here. I don't know what kind of can it is, but okay. Okay, I'm pretty happy with what I have here on the behind his little brain. So here, yeah, I will have to get back to here and kind of clean a bit because I have some green from the high angle, which is, I'm just doing low angle for this green, because everything is green then nothing is green, so that's a slight of a problem. Okay, you know what, I think it's pretty fair. Something like this. Okay, so I have something here. I think I go here and do it everywhere. So here I have very nice consistency. You see I have applied the paint, you see it's shining. It's very, very subtle. That's perfect for the work on the skin, so I'll do that here as well. This will be pretty bright because it's almost touching the cable. Pretty cool. The thing is really, it takes time, but it's very low effort. And I think that's critical. If I burn myself, if I burn my energy on one miniature very quickly, how do I pin the rest? Okay, okay. You guys doing great. Whether you're chilling or painting, you're very welcome. And I'm very happy to share the painting with you. You know, just a passion. Trying to do better than I have done before. And this is for every paint job. Restart again and again. Trying to do better every time. So yeah, here I have a lot of paint. It's okay. Yeah, okay. I will feather that slightly because I'm afraid it's too strong. Okay. Let me check. Okay. Now I have a paint that is not very diluted, so it's pretty strong, but because here it will be strong, I can have a go. Look at that, it's almost stuck to the arm here, so you can imagine the intensity of the light will be very high. So have to go, have to do it, something like this. And at first, I really don't need to be clean. I think something I will keep in mind for the next paint jobs. All the airbrush, I do everything at the same time. So, well, I mean, sorry, I mean, for instance, I've done the skin with the airbrush, and so I don't want to have to get back to the airbrush once I'm done. So I do a clean job with the airbrush, but then with the brush, really, you don't have to do clean from the first pass. I think we could call that sketching. Really, this is what it is, really sketching the colors. See if it's at the right place. And once it's at the right place, then if we need to do better, then we can. Man, I love painting. Just wrapped up a chunky wolf hail blaster. It's rather sick. I need to get mine this year for sure. Hey, bolter thrower. Nice to have you. Yeah, well, painting is very relaxing, and you know, talking of Games Workshop miniatures, which are also very, very nice. Well, this rat, this is what? This is what? Stormfronts. Yes, I'm painting Stormfronts, and they have tons of details. Well, I mean, they have a good balance, because if you look like this, they're pretty bare, but in fact, you know, the pipes, the stuff, the scars and everything, that adds up. And I think it's good balance. And I have to share with you guys, I've seen the new Nurgle models, the rod swords or something like this. I think they look awesome. And I think the previous Nurgle model, the Blight Kings, they looked great already, but really they have done even a better job for these kits that were not that old. Oops, I've made a hole here. Yeah, exactly. So first, I think yeah, the plastic is. I like the plastic because usually it's pretty solid, more than resin. And just like you say, it holds the value, which is nice. Well, in fact, more than it's kind of a stock, to be honest. Just reprint my terrain now and buy my minis. Life is good. Yes, yes. I print a lot of miniatures, but I paint everything, to be honest. But there is a big thing I found, because now my son, so he's 4 years old, 4 years old, yeah, and I give him plastic. Games Workshop plastic, because I don't want to give him resin, although it's dried and stuff. And this is always a bit toxic, you know. And so I found that's great for the kids, you know, safe products. My brush is a bit loaded here, but it's okay. Just like I said, it has to come to this, because this is getting a lot of light. I try to not be too. Oh yeah, I understand. Resin. If you have a balcony, you can put the resin printer on the balcony, and that's what I do. But to be fair, I even outsource now the printing to somebody who would print for me. I think it's worth the you know, still not too expensive, but it's a real hassle and toxic. So yeah, PLA, I think there are some fumes as well. So it's still, I'm sure you have like an enclosure or something, or tell me, I don't know. Because like it's a hot plastic, right? Melting the plastic. something like this. And so you see when the paint dries, it becomes less vibrant. Nope, no fumes with my paint. It doesn't burn enough to create fumes at about 220 degrees. And gets, yeah, nice. What's the height of the layer? Is it 0.56 or? Ooh, okay, yeah, we'll have something here as well. Yeah, for terrain, 0.2. Oh, no, 0.2 millimeters or 2 millimeters. Like 0.2 is. Oh yeah, okay, I understand. 0.2, yes, okay. Yes, resin is 0.0 something. That's why I was. Okay. Yeah, thank you. I see. Yeah, well, the terrain, I think, is really worth it because it's big and expensive if you buy it, but if you print it, it's very economical. Yes. So yeah, I want to do that. I'm a bit afraid, but I will do it anyway. You see here on the cloak, because it's a flat surface, and so here it does not forgive any mistake of whatever, like roughness or. Yeah, resin is crazy macro, but the chemicals, yes, the chemicals is dreadful. Oh yeah, I see. Yeah, you kill your printer. That's good. Kill team and stuff. And have soft transitions here. Yes, I think the terrain just such a great addition to any gaming experience. Here I'm focusing slightly, just because I don't want to put the light in at the wrong place, like the highlight I think should be just a bit more on the left, you see? So behind the pipe, so here I'm a bit too much on, but this is the first steps, and that's why I love this approach glazing up to the highlight, because you can reposition, you see? And in fact, the layers I've done, maybe they're not the center, but they're part of the blend. And you see, just like this. And little by little, I'll get to good opacity. And of course, here I also need to have a gradient of intensity. So here should be the highest intensity, because it's the closest, you see, to the pipe, and also where there is the most glow, like this. But yeah, the color of the glow from the pipes is the same as the ground, so there is no big mistakes that can be done here. See, I can have a bit of highlight down there here also, because from the ground we have this light, so let's do it. And so I do this, so in the meantime what I've done here can dry properly, and if I don't let it dry I will just wipe the layer with my new layer, and so that will remove the paint where I want it the most. So just trying to avoid that. Oh, so you see that's exactly what I've done here, kind of removed, so I just let it dry more. I may reload the paint, because the less paint I have, the more I have to apply pressure to release the paint off of the brush. And so if you apply more pressure, well then that's when it happens. So let me do these ones here, because I have pretty good consistency now, which is very transparent but yet noticeable, and so that's exactly what I want for this here. Oh, I have another one here. Okay, because of this pipe. And so you see there are so many that I have to somehow keep the pace and not spend too long on each one, otherwise I will never finish. Because I have 6 of them. You see them? 1, 2, 3, 4. You see 4, 6 here. So, but that will be refined, right? It's not this fine version here. It will be a lot smoother. Let me check. I think I've done a pretty decent job here to first kind of place them, and when it's at the right place I will refine the job. You know what? Reloading the paint, a bit more water, so I drop a big drop here. Oop, it's a bit much. Feathering the edges slightly again. And then this side as well. Okay, something like this. Fiddy said hi. Hello mate, how are you doing? Welcome. Welcome on the channel. Yes. Okay. Oops, so you see here that's a bit brutal, but it's okay. Hey, not that much, it's all right. Cool. I will get this here at the back, the very bottom. Something like this. And this is just sketching, but you see from afar, if I do this like this and I shake, it's like, oh yeah, there is no OSL. And that will be refined up to what we want, of course. But yeah, taking my time just to make something pretty, pretty clean, a clean base. Will save me a ton of work later. Okay. Yeah, okay. We have some here as well, and here. Okay. What else? Something here. And oh yeah, okay, on his shoulder here, there should be something from this pipe. So it's kind of base coating everything at the same time. But here I can work on these miniatures one at a time. So I will finish the whole green on this guy, refine it, and then go to the next, because this is long enough like this. I don't need to do all of them in batch. I mean, this is pretty good level painting already. So, well, if I say so, right? I mean, the end result will be pretty refined. That's what I mean. So everywhere where there is a potential green light, I do it. And so that's a tremendous amount of work. Has to be done though. I'm very much inspired by the work by El Miniaturista and these guys who they paint just great stuff, and it seems that they go super quick. And in fact, they don't focus much on the refinement. If you zoom on a picture on painting, it depends on which, but some of them, they're not very refined, but they just look great because the light is exactly at the right spot. And so I think that's a good lesson. Like this. Let me check. You know what? I will extend slightly. You see here, just glazing very wide. And so when I apply my dark green, I will go over it, this wide section, and not too much on the lightest here. I think that maybe kind of... I will let it dry and do the rest and check. Oops. Here I will have more paint. Kind of drop a big drop. Let's check in the very middle here, like this. Yep, to build that light. I think when it will dry, it will be okay. Let's have a big drop here in the very center. Hopefully my surroundings, yes, you see here, it blends pretty well because I've built up the... Let's have a one here. Oop. So it's kind of a leathery cloak, and so it's, you know, kind of reflecting on precise locations, not like metallic metal or non-metallic metal, but still. Okay. Let me check now. Maybe here, down here. So you see, this is not precision work at all, and you can tell by the brush I'm using. It's a slightly big brush, especially in pretty poor condition, I would say. You see, the tip is dreadful, but it's okay for what I'm doing here. So that would be from the ground, the light reflecting from the ground here. So just like this for the first pass, enough. This as well, yeah, here could have something. Pretty much painting green over the whole thing I have painted before. Oh, this is metallic, so okay, we have more consistency and sharper definition. Well, supposedly. Yes, you can see it's a bit zoomed in, so you can see very well, but then each of my slightest movement moves the model a lot on the camera. I don't have a lot of room to move. Let me check. Yeah, maybe something like this. Maybe this is a bit upward, but surely we get some of this light. Something here and there. Okay. So the magic will happen when it's more refined, but not yet. And so now it's very much about trusting the process. So here I'm trying to be just more gentle with the brush, not to make a hole like I did previously, but also I want a good opaque coat. If whenever you paint, you have this kind of result here, and it looks very dirty, it's because the paint is it's still transparent. You can see the layers underneath. And so whether you have a thicker paint that has a coverage, stronger coverage, or more layers, if you want a subtle gradient. Of course, it's quicker if you are less diluted, and so you get this coverage faster. But of course, you have less gradient. And so it looks well, not as fine as it could. Oops. Yeah, that's very dirty, but it's okay. I've done this. I've done a little bit of, let me check here. Yeah, okay. Just here. A line, because I'm painting on a tube, and so the light will make a line like this on a tube. Here, just comforting the big light, kind of getting more. Oh. Okay, something like this. Under the tail, okay. The tail, let's do it. It's very good here to give a lot of immersion to the model because the tail is out of the base. But if I still do the green light, you see here a base coat of black green is, if I continue the highlight, it seems that the environment is going beyond the base. And that's, so after all this speech, let's see if we can do something great. So you see when it dries, really makes the losing a lot of that vibrancy, but that's how we build the layers. Okay, oh, here as well. Let me think. This here. So now I have a thick paint, and because I want to do this edge here. Something, oh my, something like this. I'll do this one here as well. Okay, something like this, and that will be refined later. Here as well, all the angles downwards. In fact, I will use a thinner consistency and common glade on the edges to smooth down this edge slightly, create a tiny gradient, but I start with a strong opaque layer on the edges. Here a lot less, because here it's less exposed. Still higher here can be justified. Something like this, and a bit like this. Not everywhere. Yeah, I think it's better. Ooh, and here, of course, ooh. Yeah, that's really the odious staples, you say that? You know, or the Hercules. Heracles, you say? The unending work, never ending. That's, yes, a big commitment. Cheers. Oops. Yeah, no. This, I won't let it dry. I will wipe it straight. Okay, bubbles. Oh. Okay, let's leave it like this. Betty Boop said hi. Hello. Okay, this is really downward, and so that will get some light like this. This as well, this on the sides. If it's metallic, I can have less diluted, because the reflections are always sharper on the metal. I should try to hit this here. It's not easiest to get, but oof. Okay, I think it's enough. So we can see something from here that will be refined later. So now I have pretty opaque paint. Just to go a bit faster, because now it's right. If you squint your eyes, then you'll see like, oh, something is starting to happen. It's really about trusting the process and be patient and build up the thing. But in the meantime, it's not the greatest. Okay. But that's great. Just like a big, if you had a huge canvas, and you would paint for month. That's how I see the. You see, here I have done a mistake. I scrapped the paint, and so more water, and I deposit the pigment instead of scrapping them away. Like this. Okay, well, that will be fade with some dark green later. Oh, okay. So here I have a lot. I think I should have some here as well. Find this. Yeah, okay, something like this. I'm reluctant, have been maybe reluctant because this should catch a bit of light from the top. But I think, yeah, something like this. Here, not up to the top, but just here. Yes, makes sense. It's a calculation of what looks cool between the theory, the rule of cool, and how you can apply it on the model. I think the most important really is to have an effect that works. And if it breaks a few rules, that's not important. The rules, I think, are here to help us make sense of what would look consistent. Let me check. Okay, something like this. Let me check where else should we need some. Oh yeah, so you see, in fact, this here pipe should cast a light on the hip here, the cloth on the hip, and so we'll do it. And so that's why I say it's really endless, because there are so many opportunities to have this glow here, and consistency, I think, is very important. Of course, if you miss it, you don't see it, maybe somebody will watch the model quickly and they won't see it either. But if they have a closer look, a second look, I think they would be impressed to see that everything is here, despite the amount of work, the amount of confusion, possible confusion, due to having so many here. But that's the challenge I signed for when I started to paint these guys. It's all about, you see, the different lights and trying to make it clear that this reflection comes from this pipe, this comes from this pipe, and so it's about where you have the lightest point in the reflection. And so now I'm just building up the layers with my middle green, and that's why it's very sloppy. And so, and this is not what it will look like at the end, because now you could think that, hey, this guy is painting the OSL, it looks like garbage. At that point, yes, it's true. What are we painting? Painting this. And so yeah, let me show you what it could look like when it's finished. Something more like this. You see, everything is a bit more refined, although not to a drastic level. This is not for a golden demon. But you see this guy here, he will go in the same direction, starting here. But it's a bit far away. Well, I mean far away. We're still far, because this is very, very time consuming. It's just too small for an airbrush, too small for a sponge, and so it has to be done with the good old paintbrush. Oh no. Yeah, but at the same time, I think it's cool to, you know, the paintbrush is just the tool. Just like the knife, if you had to go, I don't know, in nature, you take a knife, and if you want to, if you have to paint, you take a brush. And so it's also cool to practice with that basic tool that has crossed the centuries, and we still use it. That's interesting. I'm wondering if it's the same, if today's brush are much better than they used to be, or, you know, I would think so, you know, especially if you go to the higher end. But that's, I think, an interesting question. It is solid. Well, thank you very much. So that is just a preliminary work of kind of sketching the light, and then I will refine it, make smoother blends and everything. And so here what I'm seeing is I should have some green here, but because it's in the shadows, even if I paint some green, no one will notice. If I take a picture, it will be black, this area under the arm. So I don't even want to bother really. Maybe a little bit here on the edge, like to pretend that it has been painted, but nobody will see it. Everything is a process, yes, that's correct. Everything is a process. But you know, that's the risk painting live, you know. Somebody joins like, what? And he would be, you know, true at the very precise moment, but because it's part of the process, then he'd be wrong. But he wouldn't know. Okay, something like this, and this here. So in fact, doing this OSL, you know, maybe, pretty sure you know a guy. He's one of the best painter in the world, named Flamion. I'm sorry for the pronunciation, Flamion, or, and he would sketch his OSL from the start, because here you see, in fact, all the areas I'm painting, I've painted them twice. First with my initial color, and now I'm doing the OSL on top of it. And so because he wants to save time, he does straight green here, which is it requires a very solid vision from the start. And of course I'm not there yet, so still doing the good old first step, and then adding the light. Let me check. Where should I go now? So here, not too much of an OSL, because you see, here it's a rock. So there is nothing, maybe on the side here, we do a good effect for sure, but not too much inside, because something like this, yeah, okay. Now up here, and here is the same, so it's just the pipe reflecting here. Yes, you can see that, guys. Oops, yeah, like this. And also here. Yes, and this should cast a light here and there on the skin here. So I'll do it, have to reload a bit of paint and push it there. Oh, it's a bit too thick, but I'll take it. Now a bit more water, and I will feather slightly like this, the edges. But this is very dim, so that's all right. When I have a chance, just boom boom, touch up here and there. Now I have to think. I will reload a bit more paint and then have a go in the center of this light. Ooh. And here everywhere on the edge, this should be a metallic something here. Oh yeah. I removed the paint exactly where I want it in the center, so that's a classic mistake. Okay, I repair it with more layers. Yeah, I'm being patient and I'm starting with the hardest. The easiest would be here. Everything is below here. But this, everything here is pretty goddamn hard. Well, hard, you know. It's a lot of work. I have to be precise. It's easy to make a mistake. But also because when I start, I have more energy, and so I keep the easiest for the end. A big drop of paint to correct. Yes, my mistake that was done here. And it looks drastic, but when it will dry, it won't be as drastic. Here the same. Yep, and here as well. Like this, very nice. You know what? I tried to finish the tail here. Haven't finished yet. Again, just a dot. A bit too much, but it's okay. This should provide me inspiration for my own projects, even though I don't have Skaven like this one. Oh yeah, I think the technique is transferable to any miniature. That's for sure. So in fact, you know, it's something, you know, painting Space Marines, painting this and that. More or less, it's the same. You know, whatever you paint, technique is transferable. So. Ooh, this is. Oh, but you see, like from afar, it looks great. It looks great from afar, and yet it's far from looking great. Hello, let's go. I still have a bit here inside because, yeah, this, something like this. Okay, I think it looks lovely. So yeah, something like this really helps projecting the base further than. Okay, and now, because the most important is that we still see it from the side. If I just paint from this angle, like in the very center, and we don't see it from the side, then it's useless. And so paint it kind of the angle that does both. Something like this. And now I will do it here. Let me check. Look at this. Whew. 1, 2, 3. Yes, you can see here very how to get to this area there. And so I'm just kind of stippling with the glaze. And so you see, leave some transparent paint. And let me focus here. Yeah, okay, we reload the paint and then do it again. Wash the brush as well. And kind of scraping the very gently like this. You see it's all green in the ferrule. Call that a ferrule or what? But this is a synthetic brush, so I don't really care. Okay. Here we go, let's continue. Yeah, that's a lot of green at the end of the day. And it's just the back. It's just the back. So it's been 77 minutes and it's just a sketch on the back. So think about it. It's very, very, very time consuming. Yeah, I was on the tail, okay. But I will do that first. I think here, because I have some light, I think I should have a line here, like this. Something like this, right? Especially it is metallic, and so it will reflect highly. Contrary to this, for instance, would just get a lot less, although this should be leather, so some kind of reflection would happen in there. Oops, sorry, yeah, like this. Let me check where I should reinforce the light here, yes. Here as well. And here. Okay. Yes, but it's working little by little. So I think that's what matters the most. I will try to get to this very first. You don't really see it, but there is one that is right to this one. So that was rough. I try to load a bit more paint so it's drier. Here it tends to run everywhere. And you see from afar, you have this glow from the bottom. So then it's just about refining. Oof. And then this tip here could get a lot of green. Oh, almost made it full. Okay, something like this. And this as well. Okay, that's pretty cool. You know what? I will leave this underneath like this. I think it looks cool. Not everything green, but just left and right. And so here on the two sides, I have something. I will refine it. Yes, yes, yes. But strengthening the highlight because it's just next to this pipe. Yes, pretty nice. Didn't plan on painting to this angle, but it works. Very nice. Whew. Let me check. Oh yes, I had this. Okay. This is way too much. Let me get rid of some of it. Okay. Keep it to the very edge and I will smooth out. Hey, working fine at the end of the day. It's cool. Okay, because I washed my brush and I have to reload. Small mistakes like this. Okay, let's go. Oof. Okay. Way too drastic here. Oh, but at the same time, it's all right. It's not too. Okay, I'm destroying everything because I was doing. Okay. Okay, here we go. Just a bit, kind of got rid of a lot, but just to avoid mistakes. All right. Now I will be able to build up the center once more. Okay. And now, yeah, I have this here. Okay, I will just do first this one down here. Here. And yeah, so this one. Here's a great opportunity to highlight, but not everywhere. That will be kind of organic reflection, and that will look pretty good on this here. Like not everything is reflecting at the same intensity. Okay, so everything is green. And there is so many pipes. So there are so many pipes, sorry. Okay. Starting to look like something here as well. Okay. So this is just a sketch, right? It will look like something like this at the end. This is one that is finished. But funnily enough, it starts like this. Ha! And so, yeah. Oh, this is the front. I haven't done the front yet, but you see, I have left all these very dark shadows just to receive this glow here, and very Skaven-like. Stretching my back, and you know what, guys? It's been almost an hour and a half, and so I think I could take a short break and end the live here. I think it's pretty fair, and so in fact I will just continue refining that to the extent I've done the other one, and further after that. But I think it's time for a break. So thank you very much for watching. If you guys want to see more, you can of course subscribe, and you'll be notified when I am live, when I do a new short or a long format video. Of course, it's great if you can ride on the long run, and hopefully we have a great time. So thank you very much, and see you next time, guys.